From Memorial Stadium, WFTV Channel 10 presents tonight's high school football game of the week. Good evening, everyone. Along with Donnie Lang, Rich Siegel at Memorial Stadium. The Rider Raiders know that a win tonight will move them one step closer to a playoff spot in the 5A standings. Rider comes into this game tied for third place with Sherman and Marcus with 3-2 records in district. Louisville and Halton are also playing tonight, and as a matter of fact, playing each other. 4-1, the loser of that game, and if Rider wins this game, then Rider will move into a tie for second place with either Louisville or Halton. Donnie, good evening, and a big game tonight for the Rider Raiders.
Sure is, as you said, and I tell you, one of the things that Coach LeBleu likes about the Rider situation right now, Rich, they can control their own destiny. They don't have to depend on anybody else to do anything. It's in their own hands. If they win tonight and take care of this one and win next week at Marcus, they're in the playoffs. And that's the way you like things, to be able to control your own destiny, not have to depend on somebody else's help.
Big win last Friday night for the Raiders in Denton. They won the game 17-16. They withstood a late Denton charge and stopped Denton in going for 2 points. Had Denton made those 2 points, of course, Rider would have lost, and that would have been a severe blow to any playoff chances.
Sure would have been, and you got to go back to 3 weeks ago when they played Louisville, just one heck of a football game here. Came up a little short. Then you wondered how would the kids react to it, having to go on the road for 2 consecutive weeks. They had to go to Sherman, then they had to go to Denton. Rich, they won both of them. Showed a lot of character winning against 2 decent football teams on the road.
Now they come into tonight's game playing a team that is 2-6 overall and 1-4 in district. Hopefully tonight the Raiders will not take this Keller team lightly.
Well, I tell you what, Coach LeBleu had some interesting insight on that as well. He said Keller will try, if they can, to control the football, and they've got 2 good running backs. I think we alluded to the fullback, Carlton Calvin, and also the tailback, Chad Sanders, and they used both of those guys prolifically in the backfield in the running game, and they'll try to keep the control of the game and keep the football away, of course, from the Rider offense.
Now let's take a look at the District 5A standings. You caught a brief glimpse of the Keller Indians coming down the ramp and onto the field. Louisville with a record of 4-1 in District 5A, tied with Halton, and again, those 2 teams are playing tonight in Louisville. Louisville 7-1 overall, Halton 5-3. Then the logjam at 3-2, Rider, Sherman, and Flower Mound Marcus. The Raiders have the better overall record, 6-2, Sherman 5-3, Marcus 4-4. Denton 1-4, tied with Richland and Keller. Denton and Richland 3-5 overall, and Keller 2-6. Rider comes into tonight's game +2 as far as points scored and points given up. The Raiders have scored 82 points in district play, have given up 80. Keller, on the other hand, is -82. Keller has scored 71, but they've given up 153. A very big game tonight for the Rider Raiders. They cannot afford to look ahead to the Flower Mound Marcus game next week. They've got to take care of business here tonight. First things first.
Got to get it done tonight, and you talked about the teams being bunched at 3-2. Interestingly enough, Marcus will be at Sherman tonight. Marcus at 3-2, Sherman at 3-2. So somebody's going to come out of that game, Rich, with loss number 3, and they'll knock themselves out of the playoff picture.
The Raiders have taken the field, and so has Keller. Our pregame programming tonight has been brought to you by the good people at Pinocchio's Pizza, with 2 convenient locations to serve you in Wichita Falls. Visit them in the Wichita Square. On Kemp, their telephone number is 696-3333, or if you're up by Shepherd Air Force Base, they're on Shepherd Access Road, and the telephone number there for takeout delivery is 855-6353. We have the start of tonight's football game coming up, a very important game as far as the playoffs are concerned for the Rider Raiders. As they take on the Keller Indians, we will know momentarily who will get the ball, and again tonight, Donnie, as we had last night for the Coyote game with Hazel, we've got a stiff wind blowing out of the south at around 15 to 20 miles an hour. So again tonight, probably the team that wins the toss will defer and will probably go for the wind in the 4th quarter. Co-captains for Rider, Chad Jackson, Tyrone Wesley, and Thad Carnine go to the middle of the field, and they will meet up with Craig Rogers, Keith Morrison, and Joe Ramirez. And it's just a few moments before we find out, and you'll find out too, who gets the toss and who will kick off. We'll be back with the start of tonight's game in just a moment. You're watching the high school football game of the week on WFTV, where as always, you've got the best seat in the house. Won the toss. The Raiders have elected to receive, and that means that Jason Staley will kick. Montrell Lewis flanked by Brian Lewis and Scott Avery, and we are underway. Sit back and enjoy. This is a short kick, and it will fall at the 15. Avery picks it up at the 10, 15, 20. Gets across the 25 and struggles to about the 26 or 27-yard line. Stopped on the play by about 4 Keller Indians, including the kicker, Jason Staley, and so Ryder will start out 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Ramon Flanagan will lead the Raiders once again tonight. Ramon comes in 34 out of 80 for 387 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He's got the very talented Montrell Lewis in the backfield, being led by Matthew Blackman on 1st down. The second man, no, it's a pitch out to Brian Stoller, and Stoller gets about 3 to the 28 or 29-yard line. Good fake into the middle. Flanagan to Lewis, and then the pitch back to Stoller, and Stoller got 3.
You mentioned the very talented Montrell Lewis, and we don't want to overlook number 32, Rashad Hickman. Rich, we know how important he is to that Ryder running attack because of his excellent ability to block.
And it's Rashad Hickman and not Matthew Blackman that is who is leading Lewis tonight out of the backfield. On 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard pickup, Flanagan rolls to the right side, pitches back to Lewis, has running room on the right at the 30, at the 35, at the 40, and 1st down for Ryder at the 40-yard line. Montrell doing it again. Montrell comes into tonight's game having run the ball 209 times for 1,206 yards. That's an average of 5.8 and 8 touchdowns.
There's the backfield. Ramon Flanagan, the quarterback. You see the fullback is Rashad Hickman, 32. Tailback Montrell Lewis. Your wingback Brian Stoller. Split in Kevin Parsons.
On 1st down, Lewis again gets the call, and he goes off right tackle on his feet as he struggles across the 45. There's a flag on the play. This may be a face mask as Montrell is tackled at the 50-yard line. That's a 10-yard pickup. Let's check the flag. Face mask, Keller. This will be a 5-yard face mask penalty. We'll move the ball to the 45-yard line. So 10 yards on the run, 5 yards on the penalty. A net gain there of 15 takes the ball to the Keller 45. Ryder on the move. Stoller splits out wide to the right side, and it looks like Avery in tight on the left. That Carnine, the tight end, is tight on the right side. Flanagan to Lewis. Lewis gets across the 45 to the 43. There's a flag on the play, and this will more than likely be holding Ryder.
There is your call, and it's correct. Holding against the Raiders. That'll set them back 10 yards. Once again, the Raiders, Rich, blessed with an excellent tailback last year and the year before. We talked about Robert Brooks' show, and now Montrell Lewis this year. And interesting enough, talking to Coach LeBleu, he said in actual straightaway speed, Robert Brooks has Montrell beat. But when you start talking about quickness and how quickly Montrell gets to a hold, he said probably as far as the quickness is concerned, Montrell was quicker than Robert Brooks. And probably Montrell Lewis has the luxury of possibly a little bit better offensive line, too.
1st and 20 at the Ryder 45. Pitch back to Lewis. Lewis at the 45 and gets about 3 to the 48-yard line. Wrapped up on the play by Jared Morgan. Second down after the 3-yard pickup, and that's the Ryder offensive line that Donnie will set.
Center Josh Grisham. Your 2 guards are Nolan and Norris. Tackles Taylor Covington, and the tight end 85, Thad Carnine. Those are the guys up front, the hosses that open the holes for Rashad Hickman and Montrell Lewis.
Stoller splits out wide to the left side. There's play action fake. Lewis rolling to, rather Flanagan rolling to the right side. Will get the pass away. He throws it into a crowd and it's picked off by Richard Long at the 29-yard line. A very ill-advised pass by Flanagan, who sent two men into the same zone, and they were picked up by three white shirts. And on the first turnover, Keller will take the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Now that's something that I haven't seen Ramon Flanagan do a lot, Rich, and that's forcing the football in. As you said, a very ill-advised pass. I mean, there was nobody open. Good coverage by Keller, double coverage, and he threw into the double coverage. And most of the time when you throw into double coverage, you're going to get burned, you being the offense.
The man to watch for Keller on offense is Carlton Calvin, number 29. He is a very talented fullback. He gets the call on first down. It will be wrapped up for a loss of 1. Brian Bagby, 51, in on the stop. The quarterback for Keller is number 12, Matt Isles, a 5'8", 155-pound sophomore. Calvin comes into tonight's game with 1,050 yards on the season, and this man carries the ball a lot. He will do the bulk of the offensive load tonight for Keller. On second down, Calvin gets the call, comes around right end, and gets out across the 30 to around the 31 or 32-yard line before being tripped up on the play. A gain of 4 will bring up 3rd down and 7. Chad Jackson in on the last tackle. There's the Keller offensive line. Brandon Kidd and Kelly Long, the guards. The tackles, Tom Brown and Billy Reed. At the center is Roy Hicks.
Kidd's older brother was an offensive center under Coach Bill Yeoman at the University of Houston. Billy Kidd. And don't confuse him with Billy the Kid. I said Billy Kidd.
Isles looking to throw, is being chased out of the pocket, gets away from one, still on his feet, throws, and the pass is almost picked off by Kevin Owens. Give credit on the play for forcing the quarterback to the outside to Jason Petrash, number 60, and that brings up 4th down and kicking time for Keller. Scott Avery will drop back in single coverage. The kicker is Robert Mackey. The ball is at the 32-yard line, and he will be kicking with the wind at his back. Ball bounces at the 32. Avery will stay away from it, and the ball will be down by Carlton Scherer at the 30-yard line, and so that is where Ryder will start their second offensive series. We have 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go in a scoreless first quarter. Ryder took the ball, drove to the Keller 45, a holding penalty, then an interception. Keller was unable to move the ball much, and so Ryder, with their second offensive series, comes out to a 1st and 10 at their own 30. Ramon Flanagan calling signals. Sends Stoller in motion from right to left. A little mix-up in the backfield, and Flanagan will be thrown for a loss of about a yard back to the 29. Donnie, it looked like he and Rashad Hickman were unable to get together on the handoff there, and that made it very easy pickings for the Keller defensive line.
Sure did. 54, Jared Morgan, 5'9", 173-pound senior, right there in the Ryder backfield to mess that thing up. And as you said, a loss of about a half yard, so called it second down, a little more than 10 for the Raiders.
On second down, Lewis gets the call. He gets good yardage, still on his feet at midfield, at the 45, at the 40, and down to the 35-yard line. And a touchdown-saving tackle by Richard Long, and Mundrell is doing it again.
There he goes, the Mundrell Lewis show. Number 48. Never ceases to amaze you. Now watch this, just straight ahead blocking. Breaks the tackle there. Now there's where we get to that straightaway speed, Rich.
Took it outside, then brought it back to the inside, and a pickup on the play from the Ryder 29 to the Keller 35. A 36-yard gain. Flanagan again with the handoff to Lewis. Lewis struggles to the 30-yard line and picks up 5 the hard way before being wrapped up by Brian Kruger.
Boy, no quitting that time. You see 65 Mac Norris, 32 Rashad Hickman, clearing the way for Mundrell Lewis. Pickup of about 6 on that one, Rich. They'll call it 2nd down 4. Not watching the scoreboard. I'm watching the down markers.
Don't watch the scoreboard. We've learned. We are inside of 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ryder on the drive again. Their last drive stalled by an interception. Play action, hands to Lewis, and Montreal picks up about 3 down to the 27-yard line. Will bring up 3rd and 2. Big game tonight up at Burke Burnett in 5-4A. The Hershey Huskies needing a win tonight over the Bulldogs. Hershey leading that series 18-8 and winning last year 42-0. But it may be a little more difficult for the Huskies, and we'll let you know how they're doing periodically throughout this game tonight. Flanagan on 3rd and 2 to Rashad Hickman. First down across the 25 to the 23.
And there's our man, Rashad,
who earlier this year was one of our high school players of the game and of the week.
And so on and so on. Just a consistent ball player, week in, week out.
At the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. Stoller again going out wide to the left side. I formation in the backfield. Carnine tight right. Mundrell with the ball, and he gets across the 20 and gets to around the 18 or 17-yard line, and another 5-yard pickup for Mundrell Lewis, who may get 100 before the first quarter is over.
Rich, keep in mind, too, that Ryder is going into the teeth of that wind.
They are indeed. They come up to the line with 2nd down 5. Stoller comes out wide to the right side. Carnine again is tight right. I formation in the backfield. Hickman leading Lewis. It's Hickman with the ball. Hickman at the 10. Hickman at the 5.
He's in.
Touchdown, Ryder! Rashad Hickman! And if you key on one back too much, that other back is going to get you. And a 17-yard run for Rashad Hickman puts Ryder on the board at the 5:08 mark to go in the first quarter. Donnie, let's look at it again.
Watch it again, as Tennessee Ernie Ford used to say. If Mundrell don't get you, then Rashad will. And there is Rashad Hickman taking it in for the 6 points.
Brad Skipworth to hold for the point after attempt by Craig Brown. The barefoot kicker puts it up and through, and it is 7-0 Ryder. We'll be back with the Ryder kickoff right after this. You're watching the high school football game of the week on WFTV, and so far tonight, you do have the best seat in the house. 7-0 Ryder. We'll be right back. Kick to either Chad Sanders, 26, or Anthony Seaton, 32. Craig Brown will be kicking into the wind. His point after moments ago, capping that 7-0 Ryder score. This kick goes straight up the middle and will be fielded by Seaton at the 12, up to the 20. Run comes to the left side, cannot get to the 25. It will be tackled at the 23 by Aaron Young. And so Keller with their second possession, trailing 7-0, and Keller will start at their own 23-yard line. We'll call it 1st and 10.
So this will be Keller's second possession of the night. Ryder on their second possession drove in for the score, and they lead 7-0.
Keller working with the win. Isles pitches back to Carlton. Calvin to the right side on his feet at the 30, 35, 40, and is brought down at the 44-yard line. And just like the game we saw here last night, the Coyotes scored first, and then Azel with that long touchdown run by that talented running back, James Hull.
That's
and here
right.
again, we have another very, very talented running back tonight, Carlton Calvin. And Calvin on that last run picks up 22 yards to the 45-yard line, 1st down, Keller. Isles calling signals. Calvin again with the ball, left side, then cuts it back towards the middle, and he'll get yardage to the 48-yard line. A pickup of 3 will bring up 2nd down and 7.
Rich, in the Dallas Morning News, they always keep up with their area polls, and they have area ratings as you see the defensive lineup for Ryder. Interestingly, you have got the 5th and 6th leading rushers in the area. 5th leading rusher is Ryder's Mundrell Lewis. The sixth leading rusher is Keller's Calvin Carlton with 142 rushes for 1,050 yards on the year.
So you're seeing two of the finer running backs in 5-5-A tonight. Sit back and enjoy. Order that pizza from Pinocchio's and you'll enjoy it even more.
You better
Isles
believe it.
again pitches to Calvin running the right side at the 50, at the 45. He got free of Kevin Owens, who tried to knock him down instead of tackling him, and a first down for Keller. They'll be close to a first down. I believe they need to get to the Rider 45. They'll have 3rd and 1 after the 6-yard pickup. Here is the Rider linebacking core and secondary. Chad Jackson. Curtis Simpson listed there is not playing tonight. He is injured. Rashad Hickman, Tyrone Wesley. The corners, Brian Lewis and Kevin Owens. And the safety is Scott Avery. Matthew Blackman gets the start at linebacker tonight for the injured Curtis Simpson. Calvin again with the ball. He will have first down yardage to the 45 before being driven back. Good tackle by Scott Avery, but a little too late. It'll bring up a first down, 1st and 10 for Keller. They'll move the chains, and we have 3:37 to go, first quarter. 7-0 Rider. 17-yard touchdown run for Rashad Hickman. However, Keller on the drive has started at the 23-yard line, now has progressed to the Rider 45. Matt Isles, the quarterback. He gives to Calvin, running right side, and Calvin picks up about 5 to the 40-yard line. Cody Kercheval, number 35, is the lead running back. He is the blocking back for Keller. This is the Keller offensive line. The center is Roy Hicks. The guards, again, Brandon Kidd and Kelly Long. The tackles are Tom Brown and Billy Reed.
I think I've been saying Calvin Carlton instead of Carlton Calvin.
You know, it's just like the guy that used to play tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, Pettis Norman, and a lot of broadcasters would call him Norman Pettis. They sure did. So don't feel bad. Isles runs the quarterback keeper and gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, 3rd and 5. Saltzman on the tackle along with Blackman. Craig Rogers is not the quarterback for this team. It is Matt Isles, number 12. Chad Sanders, Carlton Calvin. The wide receivers, Anthony Seaton and Robert Mackey, and the tight end is Joe Ramirez. The lead blocking back, Cody Kercheval. Calvin gets the pitch at the 40, at the 36-yard line. A pickup of 4 will bring up 4th down. He's about a yard shy of the first down, and all in all, you saw a crowd shot, Donnie. Nice crowd tonight.
Good turnout tonight by the Raider fans.
We have a timeout taken by Keller so they can talk things over with 1:46 to go in the first quarter. Nice little drive right now for the Indians.
Good control drive, and again, number 29, Carlton Calvin, keeping it going for the Indians. Big 4th down play, though, to keep this drive alive for Keller. 1 minute and 46 seconds to go.
We would like to remind you that on Friday night, when the Coyotes and the Huskies will meet in a very important 5-4A game, the winners of the banner and flag contest during the Beat Drug Free Week will be here, and we would love to have you come out and salute the students in the Wichita Falls Independent School District who have worked very hard during Beat Drug Free Week. Come out and see what they've been able to do, as the schools have been a very, very active participant in the program this week. That's on Friday night, and we'll do that at halftime of the Coyote Husky game here at the stadium. 4th and 1. No secret as to who is going to get the ball here. They've got a full house in the backfield. Everyone tight on the line. Isles to Calvin, and a first down as he gets to the 31-yard line. Scott Avery again on the tackle, but that was just very powerful straight-ahead running for Carlton Calvin, number 29, a 6', 203-pound senior.
Great determination, too, as you see the end of the run. They're really going, speaking of they being Keller, Rich, are really going with the one-back offense as far as the number of yardage they picked up, and you look at over at Ryder, they've tried to mix it up between Hickman and Mondrell Lewis.
Now Calvin is the lead running back, and he gets the call again, and he will get about a yard to the 30-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
I keep mentioning the wind, and I think the wind's going to be more of a factor when it's at the back of Ryder, because Ryder actually has a better passing game than Keller does. Keller is very dependent on the rushing game, whereas I think Ryder is more dimensional. They'll run and pass on you.
You've noticed we've only seen one pass thrown so far in this game, and that was intercepted. There's less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Matt Isles bends under center, and he will now throw his first pass of the night. All right, he's going to run as he has nobody open. However, Brian Bagby would not let him get free, and Bagby brings him down for a loss on the play to the 31-yard line. It will bring up 3rd down and about 11.
Well, you're correct. Any thoughts that Matt Isles had of throwing the football were snuffed out by Brian Bagby, 51. Bagby, senior, 5'11", 195 pounds. Just wasn't going to let Isles loose. Now 3rd and long, 3rd, and let's call it 9.5, almost 10. Needed for a Keller first down with 9 seconds and the clock counting here in the first quarter.
On what will probably be the final play of the first quarter, Isles with the ball, quarterback keeper. He fumbles the football, and
it fell right back in his arms, I think, Rich.
As the first quarter comes to an end, Isles recovers his own fumble after being hit hard. I believe Matthew Blackman was the man who hit him. Let's look at it from ground level.
And it jars the ball loose right there. Could have been 38, Sean Perez.
That's exactly who it was.
All right.
Sean Perez, as we come to the end of the first quarter, and a good first quarter for Ryder. It's 7-0 Raiders. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. You're watching the high school football game of the week on WFTV. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Donnie Lang and Rich Siegel with you, along with our director, Ricky Cavell. We start the second quarter with Ryder leading 7-0 on a 17-yard touchdown run for Rashad Hickman. It is 4th down and 10, and Isles rolls to the right side. Will maybe try his first pass. He hasn't had much luck throwing yet, and he is going to be wrapped up for another loss. And again, Matthew Blackman along with Chad Jackson, and on downs, the Ryder Raiders will take over.
Big defensive stand by the Ryder Raiders right there. When Keller had to have it, the Ryder Raiders denied him, snuffed out the first down attempt. Consequently, Ryder takes over. 1st and 10, Rich. This will be their 3rd possession of the night, and they finally have the win at their backs.
8 seconds deep into the second quarter. Ramon Flanagan will bring the team out to a 1st and 10. Montrell Lewis gets the call, and Montrell gets across the 35 to around the 36-yard line for a 3-yard pickup.
Now Tyrone Wesley is the fullback, replacing Rashad Hickman. Trying to scan the sidelines to see if anything's wrong with Hickman. Looks to be all right, Rich. He's standing on the sidelines with his helmet in his left hand.
Scott Hart splits out wide to the left side, and Stoller slots inside left. Again, it's Lewis with the call at the 40. Montrell on his feet at the 45.
Watch out.
Field to the 45, to the 40, 35. Montrell Lewis to the 30. Then he fumbled the football.
And I think Keller got it.
And I believe the Indians have recovered. They have.
62, the bottom of the pile.
David Lola. Nice run by Lewis. Let's watch the end of the play. He breaks a couple of tackles. The ball is stripped right there.
Yes, it sure was. 85 knocks it loose. That's pronounced that one. Ryan Edwards, I guess. R-Y-A-T-T-E. Or Ryan Edwards, 6'1", 190-pound sophomore, Rich, stripped it, knocked it loose.
That is the second turnover for Ryder.